Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 4th chapter, 192 verse. घशिते घशिते यैछे मलय जसार गंध बाड़े तैछे ए श्लोकेर विचार. घशिते घशिते यैछे. So the more we rub, the more there is rubbing, then घशिते घशिते यैछे मलय जसार. Just as from the sandalwood, the sasar, the essence comes out and becomes accessible. Similarly, and the gandha bade, the essence of the sandalwood, the fragrance, the aroma increases. Similarly, taiche ei shloke vichar. Similarly, so same happens when we contemplate on this verse. So taste in spiritual things requires sustained contemplation. Sometimes we just go into a kirtan and everybody is dancing exuberantly and we all start dancing and we get swept up by ecstasy. That is good. It's wonderful when we experience the exuberance of ecstasy at those occasions. But more often, the ecstasy of devotion, the sweetness of devotion is subtle. It is not so exuberant. It is deeper, and we have to actually deepen our connection and absorption in Krishna. So if only when we enter into the mood of Shastra, enter into the mood of whatever is the devotional activity going on, then we start relishing it. So similarly with this verse, if we just recite the verse once, okay, some nice verse, some nice thoughts we'll think. But when we start repeatedly reciting the verse, then in one sense that verse is rubbing against our consciousness again and again. And just as Gashite, just as by rubbing again and again, Malaya Sara Gandhavadi. So just as the fragrance of sandalwood increases, similarly the sweet import of this verse increases by grinding it, by rubbing it against our consciousness. That means by contemplating it, by reciting it, by thinking of it from different angles. So this is one example he gives. Then Mahaprabhu gives another example to talk about the glory of this verse, and he said, Ratnagana madhye yaiche kaustubha mani rasa kavya madhye taiche e shloka gani. Ratnagana madhye yaiche, Ratnagana madhye, that among the jewels, yaiche kaustubha mani, just as kaustubha is the greatest among all jewels. Similarly, rasa kavya madhye is among the poetry on rasa, on the exalted mellows of devotion, taiche e shloka gani. So among them, e shloka gani, I count this verse to me among the greatest. So then Mahaprabhu is giving such a insightful comparison. The Kaustubha is a jewel which is worn by the Lord, kept on his chest, always very close to Srivatsa, and it's considered to be the most fortunate, the most exalted among all jewels. So if we consider the different verses to be like jewels, then means every verse is precious, every verse is so much a storehouse of treasure and nectar. But among them, this verse is supreme. So why it is supreme? When we read the verse, we'll see that actually it conveys the supreme emotion of love. It conveys the love in separation at its zenith, at its greatest intensity. And that's why it is Rasakavya Madhye Taiche E Shloka Gani. Among Rasakavya, this is the greatest. E Shloka Kahiya Che Radha Thakurani Tandra Krupaya Spuriya Che Madhavendra Vani. So, E Shloka Kahiya Che. So, what is the special of this shloka? Why is it considered to be the top, most the topmost jewel, because the topmost devotee has spoken it. Kahiya che. Who spoke this? Radha Thakurani. Krishna is Thakur and his consort Radha is Thakurani. Tandra Kripaya Spuriya che. And it was by her mercy, Tandra Kripa Spuriya che. Spuriya che means it spontaneously manifested. It manifested as a special mercy. Spuriya che Madhavendra Vani. So it manifested in the Vani, in the tongue of Madhavendra Puri, because of the special mercy of Srimati Radharani. Now Bhakti, we will discuss this later in the relevant section, that Bhakti is not just a feeling in our heart. Bhakti is a manifestation of Radharani. When Radharani becomes pleased and manifests in our heart, then devotional emotions come in our heart. So here it is said that Tandra Kripaya Spuriyachi. So when Madhavendra Puri speaks such exalted emotions, how is it possible? It is by the mercy, by the inspiration, by the spurti given by Radharani, Radha Thakurani, that this verse came through, manifested to us in this world through Madhavendra Vani, through the words, through the speech of Madhavendra Puri. Kiba Gaura Chandra iha kare aswadan, iha aswadite ar nahi chauthak jan. So, he says, Kiba Gaura Chandra iha. So, apart from him, this was the only person, Kiba Gaura Chandra. Gaura Chandra is Lord Chaitanya. Iha kare aswadan. Gaura Chandra was able to relish this. And apart from him, no fourth person could relish this verse. It says, Kare Aswada. Now, what does it mean? No other fourth person. So, three people are Radharani herself, Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, certainly when we recite the verse and we meditate on the words, we can also feel some glimpse of ecstasy. But actually, it is an infinitesimal fraction of the ecstasy that is felt by the Lord and His exalted devotees, and His consort. So, as compared to that, the ecstasy that we feel is so small that it is like not tasted it only. So, in that sense, he is saying the import of this verse, Nahi Chauthagani, Nahi Chauthajan, there is no fourth person who can recite it. Sheshakale Shloka Patite Patite Siddhi Prapti Haila Puri Shlokere Sahite. Sheshakale E Shloka. So Sheshakale at the end of his life, Sheshakale, at the end of his life, E Shloka Patite Patite, Madhavendra Puri would recite this verse again and again and again. Siddhi Prapti Haila Puri Shlokere Sahite. So Siddhi Prapti Puri, he attained the perfection of life. He attained the abode of unending love. He attained Krishna Loka. How? Puri Shlokera Sahite. With this verse. So with this verse means this verse was his companion, which granted him remembrance of Krishna, which granted him attainment of Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that we should remember him at the time of Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. So we have to remember him at the time of death. And if we do that, Muktva Kalevaram Yah Prayati Samadbhavam Yati Nastyatra Samshayaha. Such a person will surely come to me. Of this there is no doubt. Krishna is stating. And Lord Chaitanya also, when he states this, so Krishna said that if you remember me, you will come to me. Now, how do you remember Krishna? There are different ways, and there are different ways in which you can remember. Someone can behold the future form of Krishna as a deity or as a picture. Someone can hear Krishna Katha. Madhavendra Puri took the shelter of this verse. This verse was his companion. Shlokera Sahite. With this shloka, he attained siddhi, he attained perfection. So this shloka, as he recited Patite Patite, it flooded his consciousness with remembrance of Krishna, with devotion for Krishna, And in that way, it transported him to Krishna. Such is the glory of this verse. And what that verse is, and what its import is, we will try to glimpse according to our small capacity in our next talk. Thank you.